Hello, hello. Ezra, can you say, hey, team? Hey, team. All right. So we're going to be going over some things that I know we've talked about before, but it's just reiterating the point. And then some of it is going to be a little bit new. Oh, dear. Here, you can hold the pen. So one of the things that is not new for social media is to just post daily, guys. I know that it seems like you're just thinking, oh, I don't need to post because I'm like messaging or I'm putting something in my story. But here's the deal. If you don't constantly post on your feed every day, even though you post in your story every day, people are going to creep from your stories. Like, what is this chick talking about? What is this dude talking about? Go to your page and not see anything there. And they're going to be like, I'm really confused as to what this person's doing. Stories disappear in 24 hours. Stuff in your feed is always there. So we need to make sure we're doing that every single day. And it's making sure it's showing people that our store is open. That's giving your followers a chance to really get to know you and interact with you too, because they can scroll way back, creep on you when they follow you, because you know we all do it. You know you all go creep at people when you send them a follow request. So just make sure that you are posting daily. Yeah, you tell them. Another thing, when you are doing your stories, yeah, get down. When you're posting in your stories and you're putting information on one of your slides, you have to remember the slide is only like, 15 seconds long? And if you're putting this big, huge, long paragraph in there, the likelihood of someone being able to read it quickly is really slim. They're going to have to either keep going back, or they're just not going to care enough to read it that they're going to pass it by. So if you can't read it in a glance, it's probably too much information for one slide. So just keep it, even with pamphlets, if you have a little pamphlet, like get to the main point, like right away, they suck you in, and then they give out a little information on each page. Like just don't bombard one post with a ton of information, because they can't get through it fast enough. You cannot climb up there. What are you doing? You can't climb up there. Want to get down here? What? You want grapes? Hold on 1 second. Let me get him some grapes. They're right here, buddy. I have them washed. Come here. Another thing with stories, you know how you can create a poll and you're trying to put it in a place that like isn't easily touched to make sure that people don't like accidentally do it, and you're like, oh, I'm reaching out to you, and they're like, oh, sorry, that was an accident. Well, you also want to make sure that you're placed here, baby. You also want to make sure that you're placing it in a place that is actually touchable, that's not like super far to the right that makes it click to the next slide, or super far to the left that makes it click backwards. It needs to be semi in the center, so that it's like if they are touching it, it's like right there, and it's not flipping it back and forth, or like it's hard to touch. Because I'm sure you guys have done that before, like where you're trying to vote on someone's poll, but it's like in a weird spot, and you keep having to go back to like try and touch it because it's like making it go to the next page. So just make sure that you're centering it in a play that makes sense, so that they can actually touch it and vote easily on it. Here. Okay, and another thing. I feel like this business is fairly simple. What we do is simple, but it takes a lot of this, right? It takes a lot of mental power to stick with it, because you are your own boss, and you're going to have ups and downs. This job can be a roller coaster just like any other. It's like, because you are in control of the outcome. So I know for some of us, we've had like these DTs that we sign, and they're like, I'll give it a month and see what happens. Come on, you can't even see results in a gym in a month, let alone starting an entrepreneurial business. So you like definitely giving it time. You have to give it time and work out the kinks, because there's going to be things in this business that you're going to be doing that you're going to be failing forward all the time, or just things that aren't doing well for you. So you need to switch it up and be willing to switch it up and just like, all right, that might be doing well for that person, but that's not really for me. So let me try doing it this way and see if that works. You always can switch it up to be better for you, your personality, your circumstances. Because let me just put it out there. A lot of our generation, we're pretty good. We're pretty tech savvy. We're pretty good on the phone. We know how apps work and stuff like that. But you're probably not very good at talking to people face to face. You're too afraid to talk to someone. You're just wanting to hide behind a phone. So maybe an older generation would be really good at talking to people face to face. You could be banging out parties and you could be killing it. So don't be afraid to jump outside of what we tend to do more of, because that's just what the normal is. That don't mean a thing. There are plenty of ambassador diamonds that went ambassador really quickly by doing parties, talking to people face to face, having events set up, going to gyms, talking to them, asking like, hey, can I just put out some samples at a table here one day a week? And Misha, if you guys haven't watched it, she put an awesome video on our team page about how to get gyms to let you put up a table. It was so simple. She called, asked for the manager, was very respectful, very brief with their time, asked if she could set up a table, and then she's like, actually, when is the busiest time for the gym where you get a lot of people in and out? And they said Monday evening. She said, would it be okay if I come on Monday and set it up? She went there, set it up, went and talked to the manager, said, hey, I'm Misha, just want to introduce myself at the end of the day. She said, would it be okay if I come back every Monday this month? It's just so simple, like asking. All it is asking. So if you feel like you're not getting where you want to be social media wise, and it's taking a while to get up and going, because social media, it is like, it's building it. It's getting in the rhythm of how it works and working that out. Like, don't be afraid to go and ask people to do a party for you or do events or anything like that at any gyms, because I guarantee, even if your town is really tiny, you probably have at least 5 gyms in your town. That they're everywhere. Even if it's a CrossFit gym, even if it's like small owned gyms, like don't be afraid to go and call and ask and do those things. Because Misha's doing really good with that. Another thing that I wanted to touch on, hey baby, here's some more grapes. Another thing I wanted to touch on is like, some of you might not have teams, right? You might not have people underneath you yet. But one of my biggest piece of advice to you is to pretend and act like you do. Because when you have a team, you're accountable. You're doing the work that you need to do because you're trying to teach by example. And you're constantly doing and working your business. So one thing that I have been doing is, as of recent, I have been signing people and like automatically treating them like a leader. Like I let them know like how to do stuff in their e-suite, things like that, and like just teaching them like how to. Oh, Tyler, he's getting in the trash. What is it? What's he grabbing?
Whatever the bag is.
Oh, the green bean bag. Can you get some water? He's got his cup of water up there. Daddy gave you grapes and water, okay? Yeah, so just acting like a leader. Even if you don't have a team, pretend like you've got some bomb ambassador team underneath you. Are you going to work and act like an ambassador? Probably so. So if you get in this mindset, you're like, oh, I'm just a distributor. I don't have a team under me. I'm never going to have a team under me. I'm always going to be just a distributor. That's your work ethic. That's where you're going to be at. And you're all better than that. You're all better than just a distributor, but I don't like saying that because I feel like we all start a distributor. We all start from the bottom and we work our way to. Ty, he's being real loud. He's cooking up a storm over in the corner. Yeah, so can you take him in his room and read him a book? Thank you. Okay, well, 10 minutes. I'm so sorry, guys. He's normally asleep by now, but the time change has like got him all mixed up. He thinks he's still got an hour before bed. But yeah, making sure that you're treating your business like a leader from the very beginning, pretending like you have got a solid foundation underneath you, because guaranteed you're going to be working harder. You're going to be doing the work that's necessary because you've got like all these awesome people underneath you. So don't just sell yourself short thinking that you're never going to go anywhere and having that Eeyore mentality, because that's exactly what you're going to produce. What you think is what you're going to produce always. If you're constantly being negative, things aren't going to grow. It's like the type of soil that you have your plant in is, it's either going to die or it's going to flourish. You have to water it. You have to make sure that the soil is like, has the proper fertilizer in it. It needs the proper sunlight. Everything has to work in order for the plant to grow. And that's the same for your business. Okay. So do you want your plant to die? Then don't water it. That's you not learning. That's you not trying to figure out how things work. That's you not going into your e-suite and reading. That's you not being on the team calls. That's you not being on our family calls. That's you not reaching out to someone and asking for help. If you're not constantly watering and putting into yourself, you are not going to grow. Plain and simple. So stay close to the fire. And I want you guys to honestly, to be to the point where you feel like you're annoying someone, asking for help. You have to constantly ask for help. You have to constantly ask for help. Do you need to write that down in your notes? Because I feel like some of you don't reach out enough. Whoever enrolled you, your leader, annoy them asking for questions, because that's how you're going to learn, and that's how you're going to be an awesome leader. I don't expect you guys to know everything. But guess what? Us leaders, we generally have pretty large teams, and the squeaky ones are the ones that get our attention. If you're being quiet and you're sitting back and you're not saying anything, I'm not trying to be mean, but it's easy to forget about you. It's the squeaky ones that are constantly asking, hey, can you do a three-way call with me? Hey, how does this work? Hey, how would you recommend me responding back to this? Hey, all these things, those are the ones that's like, you can't hardly keep up. So then by the time that you have some free time, so ask questions, guys. That's what we are here for. That's all of us have different things that we are good at too. So if you see someone that's like, that's booming all the time in the chat, they're signing customers and distributors all the time, go ask that person what they're doing. You can just message them separately, like, you are so awesome. Like, what the heck are you doing? You just signed 3 customers today. Can I get some advice? You could even send them screenshots and just say, what would you change in this conversation? We all have different things that we do and different ways that you can learn from different people. So don't be afraid to ask, okay? Even if it's your downline and they're doing something bomb. I ask my new people, I'm like, you just signed like how many customers? What are you doing? Because that way they might be doing something different than I taught them. So ask. Okay, you need to be making sure that you're learning about the products. How are you going to learn and teach people if all you're doing is like, hey, do the greens have celery in it? Hey, Tara, do the greens have greens in it? Like, go into your website. Look at the products. They have the ingredients there for every single little thing. Because think of it this way. I could just tell you, I'm like, yes, they do have celery in them. Or what I'm probably going to do to you is, have you gone to your website yet and gone to Greens and view more product info? It will give you every single one of the ingredients list. Because I want to make sure that you know where that is. I don't like typically just feeding you the answer because it doesn't teach you. So I want you guys to treat yourself and go look it up first. Exactly like Saray said, we have Product Coach. So if you're like, what do we have that's gluten-free? I don't know what's gluten-free, Tara. You go to Product Coach, you type the word gluten in there, just one word, and anything that's gluten-free, all the products are going to show up there. If you type the word in dairy, all the things that have dairy in them are going to show up there, because these are things that you need to be able to know. It's so easy to go and just like ask and want a quick fix, but what's better? To give you a fish or teach you how to fish, right? But you also can be self-serving Go on there and figure it out and read it yourself. Get lost in your back office. There's so much good information on there. You can't mess anything up. Like, you can go in there and press every single button in your back office and you're seriously not going to mess anything up. And that's what I did. I pressed every single little button I could possibly press when I first started because I wanted to know. And I never had a leader to teach me. So make sure that you're trying to feed yourself, you're trying to teach yourself, and don't be just so quick to ask for a response because that's the easy way. You guys are better than that. Teach yourself. Okay. So I asked, there's been several people that ask, like, how does one mass enroll? Like, I need a butt ton of customers. I need a butt ton of distributors. Like, what do I need to do to make sure that I'm getting the amount of people that I need for my promotions or just goals that you have? And the answer that I got the most was two of them. One is they're putting around 10 to 15 slides a day on their Instagram stories. So that doesn't mean that it's all about the same thing. They might do like 4 or 5 slides on keto coffee and then just share their day, their life. And then they might do a few slides about hair, skin, and nails, and then a couple about the business. And it's all throughout the day. So don't jam pack all your stories in the first hour of the day. Like, you need to break it up, section it up, because you're hitting different people in different parts of the day. But they are doing that. And those are people that are signing like 20 plus customers a month. And it's from stories and people interacting on their polls or them asking a question and people responding to it. So use that to your abilities, because that's where a lot of people are coming in. How many of you guys enjoy watching stories? Like, there's a lot of times that now people go to and watch stories instead of like going through the feed. So make sure that your stuff is engaging and it's giving people options to vote on polls and things like that. Another thing, one of the other things that they said that they are doing for mass enrolling, again, this is nothing that's super new, but a little bit new. She gave me a little bit more specifics. She's doing host to post. And she said she reaches out to anyone in a message about the business or the product and they are not interested. She just asked them, just say, hey, I've got some girls that are going for some really big promotions. Would you mind just putting up a post for me? I will give you everything word for word what to say. She said she's getting half yes and half no, but she says the times and the day that she is getting the best response is like a Thursday evening and a Sunday afternoon. She said it doesn't matter who posts it, their feed hops because people are on. So she said that she is really getting a ton of hosted posts in, and anytime she's following up with somebody and then they're like, oh no, she asked them to please throw up a hosted post for her about the product. And she's signing a lot of customers from it. So I feel like for those of you who are like, I've done hosted posts and they don't really work for me. Well, let me put it to you this way. When I do hosted posts, I don't expect a lot from every single one, but there are just some people that you look at and you're like, I feel like this is going to be a really good hosted post. I feel like this person's post is going to be super good. And then it just like goes off and I've got like 20 some odd comments on it. So what I do, anyone who likes to host a post, I send them a friend request, and anyone who comments on it, I send them a friend request, and then I send them a voice message right away. And another thing too, I let the person who does a hosted post to say, if I don't respond to one of these comments within 30 minutes, can you please just tag me in the comment? Because sometimes I just don't get the notifications. Because like if you posted something recently and you scroll all the way down, like all of a sudden it stops showing you part of your notification. So sometimes my notifications for someone commenting gets lost too. So I just say, will you please tag me in it or just send me a personal message and I will make sure and go and check that. And every single person who comments on it, write their name down with the person who posted for you at the top so you can remember where you found them so you don't get lost. And I save every single one of their contacts in a collection for the host to post or whatever product we were talking about in case they decide that they don't want it or I forget. Then I go to that collection And I'm like, all right, these are people that were interested in keto coffee. These people are interested in the greens. These people are interested in the hair, skin, and nails. And I have many collections of all these products that people are interested in. So it's easy to keep track of them, especially if we have deals, because then I can send all of them a message at once. So anyone who needs instructions or more one-on-one information on a Hosta post or how they work, you can always shoot me a message after this and I can give you the step-by-step instructions that I do when I'm doing them. But give it a shot. Even if you've done it before and you felt like you haven't had the greatest response from it, if anyone that you're messaging for a product or business tells you no, just ask them to throw up a Hosta post. Who cares if they said no? Just keep going. And then just respond to every single person that comments on there if they do post it. All right, so that's kind of all that I really wanted to talk about today, I think. Hold on, let me check one thing. Make sure I'm not forgetting something. And unless anyone else has any questions. Jesus, leadership, okay, got that. Oh yeah, so this was another thing too, which I kind of talked about before. But people, when you're having a conversation with someone in Messenger and then you send a screenshot, you're like, oh, what do I say? I don't know how to respond to this. I don't want to screw this up. If you talk to people like they're people, and let's say that you are sitting next to someone, they're literally touching your shoulder and they ask you a question about this greens, or you're like, hold on 1 second. I need to send a message. I'll respond to you real quick. Let me figure out how to respond to you. Like, you're not going to do that. So you know how these products work. You know how the loyal customer program works. If you talk to people like people instead of like trying to be robotic, that's probably going to get you much better results. Most of the people that I respond to, I send them a voice message. So I don't have like a script that I'm using, and I will find something on their feed that I like, and I just say, oh my gosh, I just saw your baby said his first word. Did that just melt your heart? Oh my gosh, I remember when my son said daddy for the first time. It just killed me. So like, I just am personal with them and I treat them like people. And guess what? A lot of the times they want to buy from me because I showed genuine interest and I wasn't pushing a sale down their throat. Nobody likes that. Who likes it when you go and you have to buy a car and you're like, okay, I try to put on the car salesman repellent. Let's see if they all run up to me anyways. And they're running to you and you're like, hey, looking for a car. And you're like, ah! Like, you know it's going to happen. And you don't like that feeling of feeling like someone is going to like jump on me. Treat people like people, show genuine interest, and the sale is going to happen naturally. I send gifts all the time when I'm talking to them. Like, they'll tell me something about like, oh, I use Starbucks all the time, and I'll send like a funny like someone like drinking Starbucks and they're all like cracked out like on the caffeine, and I'm like, and what's that? And I was like, would you be willing to change your Starbucks that has tons of calories, tons of sugar, makes you gain weight, for my skinny coffee that makes you feel good, energized, and mental focus, and it's half the price? And then they're like, yeah, I would. So I'm just talking to them normally. So talk to people like people, and I promise it will make the selling part of it so much easier. Stop trying to go back into your notes and copy scripts, because that's the easy way out, but it's not the most effective way to get a customer. I promise you. Anytime I use a script versus me just being myself, I'm going to be following up with that script for a long time, but me talking to someone one-on-one, I can sell it on the spot. Okay? Does anyone have any questions for me? You can unmute yourself if you have questions. I see you, Andrea. I saw you reaching for your phone.
This is the first time I've ever done this on my phone, so I had to figure it out. It's more or less a recommendation that I learned at Try It that I attended over the weekend. I didn't know this. You know how we're very concerned about putting like before and afters in our feeds because we don't want it to seem spammy.
Right.
I did not know this, but what Aaron, Cheyenne, and who else was there? But what they said is put it on there, and then 4 to 5 hours later, click on the dots in Instagram. Don't delete it.
Archive it.
I never knew that. I was like, say what? Archive it. So then you can go back and you can reference that information, because when I talked to Erin, she said it's a folder, and you can go back and look at who all commented, and you don't have to try and remember it.
Exactly. That's such good advice. Thank you. And also alongside the archive, you know, when your stories disappear in 24 hours, you can check your archive. Say if you got busy and you forgot to check it at the 24 hours and people voted on your poll and you're like, crap, I forgot to message those people. Go to your archive and you can still check who messaged it, and you can send all of them a message directly. It's awesome. And I will go back if like I've posted something and it just doesn't go with the aesthetics of my page. After, like, I'll go back and archive it to use it again in the future. That maybe makes more sense with my layout. But yeah, that was great advice. Thank you so much, Andrea. Yeah.
How do you, where do you find that archive thing?
I will show you right here, right now.
Well, I'm driving right now.
Well, you can re-watch it. So for anyone that's on here, or I can send you the step-by-step instructions. So if you go press the bottom right picture and it takes you to your main feed of your page, it's the clock in the top right-hand corner. You click that. And this is your archive. And it's from your story or any post that you have put there.
Oh, I didn't know there was such a thing.
Yeah, so honestly,
awesome. So,
that's the ones that you can use for your highlights too. Anything that's been archived, you use them for your highlights on your main page.
Okay, I still don't know how to do the highlights. I did one, I think, but I'm not very sure how to use those. But I would look into that archive, and those are the things that we have posted before.
Yeah, like in
our stories, right?
Right. Or if I wanted to archive a picture, so say I wanted to archive this one, I just click it. I click the bottoms in the top right, and I click archive at the top. So that's what she's saying. Like if I posted a picture of a product or a sale that we were having or a BOGO, I'll post it. And then once the BOGO deal is over, I archive it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome.
Thank you.
You're so welcome. Does anyone else have any more questions? Let me go through. No? Okay, awesome. Well, we had a really good turnout today, guys. 26 people. I'm so excited. Thanks for hopping on. Everyone's like, there was sun out today. I feel good. All right. Well, I know that the Duns is about to start, and there's another one that I just posted in there for new emerging leaders. So if you have a Ruby chart or above full and you need help getting that next promotion, I put it in the chat. Or if you just want to go one of those promotions, be on there. Treat yourself like a leader. Take some accountability in your business and figure out what you need to do to move on to the next level. So that is posted in the chats. I put that there. So yeah, thank you guys for everyone for hopping on, and I hope you have a great rest of your evening. Talk to you soon. See you guys.